Welcome to Frost Sessions, the Frost School of Music's official podcast. On this week's episode, Latin Grammy nominee, president of SONY ATV Publishing, and Frost alumnus Jorge Mejia hosts a conversation with multi-GRAMMY award-winning composer, bandleader, and Frost faculty member John Daversa. They explore how they recorded an album during quarantine and how an homage to familial love and the healing of power of music can impact people and the importance of mature listening. Thank you so much for joining us today, and remember to stay tuned to Frost Sessions.
John, I'm so happy to be here at this Frost Sessions to get to speak a little bit about, really to talk about Cuarentena with family at home. Your excellent project, which was just released to, I believe, rave reviews so far, right?
The reception has been very positive. I'm very pleased. A couple of reviews came in today. I got to send to you. Everybody's. I think it's, this music comes at a time where everybody needs to slow down their heartbeat, and I'm feeling that feedback come back.
It's amazing what you did and how you recorded and when you recorded it. I think that what's particularly touching about it is that the way that it was recorded, every musician was somewhat separate because it was recorded during this crazy time, but yet so together with the music. Now, before we even say anything else, I think we need to introduce ourselves for this podcast. So
might be a good idea.
Go ahead.
Sure. My name is John Daversa, and I'm really grateful to be here, part of the Frost Sessions podcast series. I'm actually here at on campus, University of Miami, in my office, and you can probably hear some people practicing. Next to me, there's Craig Morris's classical trumpet studio is right over here, and I can hear some jazz students playing outside, on a Friday afternoon, and it's really great to see everybody making music, live with people at distance with masks and all of that stuff, but it's at least the energies are the music is happening together. So, yeah, I'm the chair of the jazz department here, studio music and jazz at the Frost School of Music, and we're navigating these crazy times, but doing our best and making music in the process. And yourself?
Well, thank you, John. My name is Jorge Mejia. I am a proud alumnus of the University of Miami, where I went for piano performance. I am a composer and pianist, and I also head Sony ATV Music Publishing for Latin America and US Latin in a different life, in a different part of my life. And I had the distinct honor of being one of the producers of Cuarentena with Family at Home. And this is how I am involved in this project, which really, it's just been amazing to be a small part of, because really the project is the brainchild of John. And I think you were speaking with somebody else, and this is how it came about. How did it come about, John?
Well, the idea itself, one of the other esteemed faculty members here at Frost is Gonzalo Rubalcaba. And Gonzalo was here. I've been a fan of his for a long time. He's one of those. He's one of those musicians that is just a really special human being that happens to be a master of their craft. And you combine those two things, and you get some pretty powerful art that happens. And I was talking to him a while back, and I was peppering him with questions about the bolero because I wanted to learn more. And the bolero is something that Gonzalo has been associated with for many years in his career. And so he was telling me, about a lot of different composers and musics to listen to. And we were commenting on the importance of music and family together. And he was telling me how in so many cultures, music, families might have dinner together, and then after dinner they would go and play music together, play some tunes, and that's how they connected with each other. And that's how my family was. You know, my family's a musical family. My dad's a professional trumpet player. My mom's a piano player, amongst other things. My grandfather played the accordion. My other grandfather was a music educator in Oklahoma. You know, on both sides, there are lots of different storylines there. And so we would have dinner. You know, we'd go over for Thanksgiving, and and you know, after dinner, my grandfather would have that accordion out, and everybody would be playing the music together, and it was such a uniting feeling. And so Gonzalo and I were just talking about that, and we were thinking about how we could make a project that brought those two worlds together. And we scheduled the project, and we came up with a date, and then I forget why we had to cancel the first date, some scheduling thing, and then we finally found a date to go in and record in March, and then this lockdown happened, and so we had to cancel again. And then I thought, okay, well, you know, I called everybody up in June, and I said, how you doing? What's going on? And, you know, so on this record is Gonzalo Rubalcaba, Daphnis Prieto. So Gonzalo Rubalcaba, world-class musician, Grammy Award winner, you know. I don't want to just read their bios, but they're amazing people. And Daphnis Prieto.
They're amazing artists.
Yes.
Please read some of their bios. Seriously.
From my, you know, so Daphnis Prieto, he's a MacArthur fellow, MacArthur Genius Grant fellow, also Grammy winner, Latin Grammy nominee, and just badass musician, you know. And Sammy Figueroa playing percussion, who has played with everybody in the industry, from Miles Davis, Sonny Rollins, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston. I mean, everybody. You know, and everybody wants to play with Sammy because he just makes it feel better, you know.
He's also, he's got a really positive vibe.
It's
a really
genuine.
positive vibe to the whole thing.
You know, the thing about Sammy, not to go on too much of a tangent here, when I first got to know him, he was so positive and so big. And it was almost like, I thought, this guy's not for real. He's putting on a show. This isn't genuine. And repeatedly, I'd see him again. He was always, and then I realized this is how he is. He just imbues this positivity and love and inclusivity, and just an amazing guy. Just an amazing guy. He's so positive you don't think it's real. You know, it's too good to be true, but it is. And another gentleman that I've just gotten to know here, because he's doing his graduate studies on jazz bass, Carlo De Rosa, and we got to play a few gigs together. And I thought he would be wonderful for this project too. So anyway, I called everybody up, and you know, I was checking in with everybody, just saying hello. But I also said, you know that project we were going to do in March. You know, what if we tried to do it? You know, if we got everybody in their own isolation booth, you know, and we were able to do it in a safe way. You know, would you feel comfortable coming in? And because I feel like what we need to do right now as musicians is make music. And then the idea that Gonzalo and I had of connecting family and music together, and then now the elephant in the room is, during quarantine, we're at home with our family. For better or for worse, you know, it's really a time to really look at what's important in our lives. And for me, you know, it's two things. It's music and family. And so, you know, we all decided, let's do it. Let's go in and do this. So we went in the last week of June, and we, you know, none of us. These are people. What I was getting at before is all these master musicians. They're used to playing all the time, you know, and touring and living this lifestyle that is just a mile a minute and with a lot of music. None of us had played with another individual live, you know, since March. And the sense of gratitude that everybody had to come in and play and make music in real time with other human beings was thick, was palpable. And that's what I hear on this recording. It's just like this really authentic, sincere feeling of gratitude for the moment, of the presence of the moment. So we went in and gave it a shot, and it's just such egoless music, such music with such purpose. I gave everybody. And I think I sent you a similar list too, Jorge. I sent a little description of every song and what it was, what the intention was for each song. There's a song for my wife. There's a song for my daughter. There's a song that's written by my grandfather. There's 3 songs written by my father. So everybody knew.
Songs written by your dad don't have titles; they have numbers. So
that's right.
Anybody looking at the jacket of the record, of the album, will know those are the ones that are written by your dad. There's a song, I think, isn't Pupita about actually a pup, right, or someone?
Yeah, we always used to joke around. We actually got these puppies 15 years ago. So, but we always called them pupitas. And when I was putting all the collection of songs together, I told my daughter, who's 9 years old, and she said, "Well, Daddy, you have to write a song for the dogs. They're part of the family too." And I said, "You're absolutely right." So, there's one more up-tempo tune that's for Leah and Maya. So that's for them.
Who are your daughters?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. But my dad's songs, these are songs that he wrote, 30 years ago that I grew up with those songs. And, he never, almost every one of his songs, he just has a book, that's number 1 until, number 132. And that's how they are. I said, Dad, we're going to record these records, and I asked him if we could. And I said, do you want to, has there, in 30 years, has there been any further meaning about any of these songs where you would want to title them or even subtitle them? And he said, no, that would be inauthentic, because I wrote it as number 22 and it's number 22. So we kept him like that.
Wow, that's amazing. So here you are, you're calling the musicians in the middle of the lockdown, really. In April, May, June, we were all still pretty much not going anywhere. What were the reactions? I'm sure they were like, "Oh my God, I would love to do this." But was anybody hesitant on how they're going to actually go to a studio with other people at that point of time?
Nothing was expressed to me. I think, we talked about it. I tried to bring it up as clearly as I could, just to make sure we're talking about everything, we're communicating about everything. But I think the sense was so overwhelmingly, I need to make music right now. And we knew it was going to be done in a safe environment. So I think everybody was ready to jump in and live.
Huh. And their isolation rooms, so everybody was great.
Yeah.
How long did it take for the recording? And how was it like when you first started? Had you, all 5 of you? Do you guys had you guys? You've played together with a bunch, but had all 5 of you played together before?
No.
So that takes a minute. That takes a minute to adjust, especially after you haven't played with anybody for 3-4 months, right?
That's a great point.
So how did that go?
Yeah, well, you have to listen to the record. No.
The record is fantastic. How did it go to get things to gel at first? Because I'm sure you didn't record the record straight through, right? You guys had to play a little bit and get to know each other somewhat musically, right?
Yeah, yes and no, because we. So let me back up a little bit. So Gonzalo and I played. I think we played a duet together, and we've talked about music a lot. We've talked more than we've played together. But really it's the same, because you really get to know someone in conversation and in the music, it's really the same thing for me anyway. And I know I don't want to put words in Gonzalo's mouth, but I think that he views life in a very similar way, where everything is music and music is everything. When I'm sitting in a meeting, it's music. I'm thinking about how everybody's playing together, and I know that I can push something by saying, playing by saying something. I can change the mood. I can change the energy. I can play point guard. Every situation has a musical analog. Daphnis and I have played together probably more than anyone. We even played some duets together with just drums and trumpet, and we've had a lot of conversations about even just work or music. So that relationship was there. I have little relationships with everyone separately, but never as a collective. We've never played together as a collective. So as you astutely pointed out, we hadn't played with any other musicians for a few months, and we'd never played together as a unit. So what I did was for everybody to learn the music. I actually, in quarantine, I had a little bit extra time than I normally would, right? So for the first time, I actually recorded all the music as mock-ups. I actually played drums very poorly, and I played the piano very poorly, and I played the bass, and I played trumpet, and I put everything together, and I sent those recordings to all the musicians so they could hear what my intention, what my direction was. So they had an idea what the music would be. And of course, as I was writing the music, I was thinking about almost like a character. I was thinking if Gonzalo Rubalcaba was playing this piano part, it would kind of feel kind of like this. I'm imagining how his character would come out. And if I was playing the drums, I can just kind of imagine how Daphnis might interpret it. And so I had that little vision. But when we came in, we didn't rehearse at all. We had no rehearsal. We came in and we started recording the first tune. And I think that it's really testament to the level of musicianship and the level of, I mentioned having no ego a moment ago, that the maturity to listen. These are all musicians and chosen quite strategically, musicians that know how to listen. And when I say that, I mean not just musically, but I know when I talk to them, they know how to listen to what I'm saying. And I know that I'm a good listener too. When they're talking to me, I know that I listen to them. So there is a format there that we're all receptive to listening. So I think that the listening was at a very high level, and that allowed us to get to know each other pretty quick. But it did take, it took a few songs, and it's like, oh, so this is who we are together. Because we all know who we are individually, and maybe even as little side conversations, but okay, this is who we are collectively, and this is really fun. So we found our way from tune to tune.
How long were you guys actually recording?
3 days. We did 3 days of recording. Mm-hmm. And it ended up being 17 tracks. It was a lot of music.
Yeah.
And I wrote most of the music, and it felt complete. And then there was always just that one other. Well, we should add this one thing because this is so appropriate to the theme and the message. It's like, yeah, okay, and so we added a couple other things, including the narratives, because I really wanted to. I think it's important for you to be able to hear the album as a whole, and not only hear from the characters as musical sounds, but actually hear their voices and hear their relationship with family and their relationship with music and what they're dealing with going through during this quarantine phase.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the narrative. So one really nice aspect of the album is that in between some of the tunes, there's the musicians are speaking about what family home means to them during the time of quarantine. Do you want to speak a little bit to that? You want to just tell us a little bit about how how that came about. That is part of other work that you've done in the past.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about how it came to be in this album and how it
Sure.
kind of shapes the whole concept.
Sure. And I'll let everybody know just a little behind the scenes thing. On all of those spoken word narratives, there's a gentleman named Jorge Mejia that, oh, that's you, that that was doing the interviews, and providing the shaping for the musicians to be able to talk about their experiences. So
Well,
you're
thank you for saying that, but
you're on every one of those tracks
in spirit.
Yes, absolutely. Well, so I've been working with our fellow producer Kabir Sehgal on a few projects now, and I have learned a lot about bringing, the shaping the story of a theme so that you can really feel the human experience, and that's something that I've been interested in, for the last number of years, because music is so powerful, and then when you can really shape it so that everyone can understand it on a human level, that's when it really hits. And Kabir and I and Doug Davis as well, we worked on a record that was showcasing the human story of the DACA Act, and in American Dreamers, Voices of Hope, Music of Freedom. And on that record, we had each one of the DACA artists, the Dreamers, tell a little bit about their story, so the audience member gets to know them as a human being, and hear their story in this world. And I thought it really was a great connecting, a great way to connect the audience with the subject. And then on the next, Kabir and I also have produced a couple of records, one for the Karen Allison Sextet, Shoulder to Shoulder, which is celebrating the centennial of women's suffrage, the 19th Amendment passing. And so we were able to incorporate speeches from Susan B. Anthony and Frederick Douglass, these amazing speeches that showcase the debate of 100 years ago, and you really get this snapshot of what it was like, going through that struggle. And then we actually, and we had another record come out this year. This one I also played on and produced for Regina Carter, the Regina Carter Freedom Band. And it's all about getting people to vote. It's called Swing States, Harmony in the Battleground. And all the musicians told a little anecdote or story about the states that they're from, and how they feel about getting out there and voting. And so for this record, I thought it would be important to do something similar that really introduces this time that we're in, and so that you get to know the musicians themselves from their own voices.
I hear it as very much a part of your work, the idea that music is a conversation and conversation is music, and that from what I gather from listening to this record and listening to the speeches is that you are humanizing, bringing the music, translating the music to another language, but that other language also helps to translate the music. Would you say that's a fair assessment of what you play with as an artist?
Absolutely, Jorge. As you were saying this is a little bit of a tangent, but it makes me think of, how in this age, there's more and more artificial intelligence, right? And everything is becoming systemized and automated, and for better and for worse. It's both sides of it always. And but the part that we really need to keep developing is the human side. So that we don't, especially in this moment where we're physically distancing. I don't want to say social distancing, because we don't want to social distance. We need to come together as a society and socially. Physically, we need to do what we need to do, but during this time where we're not able to interact in normal ways, we have to make sure that the human spirit is strong. We have to fortify our emotional bonds, our physical bonds with people. Because it's so easy to just to shut off behind a screen, and I can communicate through whatever we're communicating through. But if there's this thing in the middle and it's not really real, it doesn't feel real, we lose a bit of our humanity. So I'm all about doing anything that bolsters that kind of humanity rather than dampen it.
I think that's beautiful. It's exactly what I get from your work, and I hope that anyone who's listening to this will actually go out and listen to Cuarentena with family at home. It's a beautiful piece of art. So many congratulations to you, John. I am so honored to have been a very small part of this project. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of a very small part of the project. And so many congratulations to you and to Gonzalo and to everyone who participated. You should be very, very, very proud.
Thank you, sir, very, very much. And it is certainly, our intention and our hope that this music reaches the hearts and the minds, the bodies and the spirits of everyone that needs to hear something that will elevate humanity, even in subtle ways. So I also return the gratitude to you for being more than just a small part of this. We're all in this together, and when I say all, I mean everyone, everybody on this earth. We're all in this together, and if we all understand that, there's nothing we can't get through.
Absolutely. Well, with that, thank you for being a part of the Frost Sessions. I was really happy to have this conversation.
Me too.
Thank you. All right. We'll see you next time.
Next time.